You won't believe this. I've just done a version of this very film, and when I tried to turn the program off to stop recording it, for some reason the program that I used to do these little films crashed, and I lost 10 minutes of feedback. And I'm sick as a dog about the subject. 10 minutes. Anyway, let's start again. Thank you for the feedback thank you for the contribution to discussion that I had last week. First of all, nobody commented on it except maybe Jenny, but it was a bit of a dog's dinner, this lesson. I'm talking now about the one where I'm talking to the rhythm specialist nurses. It was a bit of a dog's dinner, and the reason for that was I made a complete mess of organising this as a lesson. And the reason why I did that was as follows. I invited these two nurses many, many miles from their place of work to meet me at the university. Only the thing is, I forgot to bring the PowerPoint presentation with me. So now I'm dead embarrassed. And I've got the textbook, Jowett and Thompson. So I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll have the book in front of me and I will interview them with questions that I think I would probably have put in a PowerPoint presentation had I been starting from scratch. Which worked okay, except when I got it home. First of all, compared to the PowerPoint presentation that I'd done, I had to load more sound files. So I had to spread the PowerPoint slides over a number of sound files, and it just looks not my normal level of slickness, let's put it that way. Only one person pointed out that there were problems with the slides and all that, so good on you for noticing. For the rest of you, well, the contribution to discussion wasn't as developed this week, shall we say. I did get some stuff by email, and there's the stuff on the discussion board that you can see. And I think I know why the contribution to discussion wasn't as developed as it's been in previous weeks. It runs as follows. Whenever I have been teaching cardiac nurses in the past, there is always a familiar refrain that comes from the groups. Number one, we want more anatomy and physiology. Number two, we want more pharmacology. And number three, we want more clinical examination. The thing is that when you put stuff on about physiology or pharmacology, very quickly, unless you're an extraordinarily talented teacher, very quickly you can see eyes at the front starting to glaze over, and oh dear, have we got to go through all this stuff again? Because frankly speaking, it can be dull. Whereas on the other hand, start talking to nurses about what it feels like to be there at 2 o'clock in the morning with a patient who's in pain and his wife standing next to him who looks panicky, and or about educating patients and where the best place is and what the best situation is for. Then you get opinion and you get passion. You get passion. It's hard to get passionate about the coding on pacemakers. Now, to be honest with you, I put what do those codes mean in, partly because you've got to do it in a course like this. There's no two ways about that. If Jowett and Thompson have dedicated time in the book for it, then I've got to dedicate time in this module for it. But you've got to admit, it's dreary. So I put it in kind of to tease you and torment you, but you responded in like manner with very little feedback, and the feedback about the coding was less discursive than it's normally been. Well, it can't be really, can it? I mean, it's either right or it's wrong. I was, on the other hand, while we're on the subject of that exact stuff, I was pleasantly surprised. I was pleased by some of the remarks that I got about the ECG simulator with SkillStat. Fabulous. Considering that it's for free, this really is a useful device. When I was a student nurse, Rhythm recognition lessons came in the form of, we get the rhythm simulator, we stand by a monitor, and then it's a process of humiliation and who knows most rhythms, and you're not going to catch me like that again tomorrow, sister. I'm going to go back home and I'm going to learn this stuff, so you can't make show me in front of them anymore. With SkillStat, on the other hand, you can get yourself up to speed in no time whatsoever. I've done experiments with students. I've tried to get these experiments published, only I'm such a rubbish writer that nobody's interested. But I've measured the length of time that it takes for someone to get to 80% correct using 10 rhythms in a minute. Incidentally, nobody's posted their winning sheet through to me. I think that was another thing that I asked. When you've got 80% right, send me the evidence. Print off the page that says you've got 80% and send it by email or by post. Not many have come through, but let's leave that aside for a second. And I've discovered that 4 or 5 sessions, 90 minutes tops, you're in with 80%. That's remarkable, absolutely remarkable. Now, all right, they're cartoons, and sometimes they don't look 100% like what you see on patients' real ECGs, but there's enough there, that's my point. There's enough there to give you a certain fluency. I'm going to stop doing this now. I'm going to start, I only get 10 minutes on these, you see, and I want to start talking about essays. So I'll speak to you in a moment.